Welcome back, Truth Seeker. September 2020 and the dates September 27th and September 28th are approaching. Of course, September 27th is the day in history the Jesuits were recognized by Rome, and September 28th will be the 102-year anniversary of the second wave of Spanish flu. September 28th will also be 201 days after the pandemic was declared on March 11th. And remember, on October 18th, 2019, the Event 201 coronavirus outbreak simulation happened, coincidentally, the same day the Military World Games began in Wuhan, China. And those Military World Games trace back to Rome, the home of the Jesuits and the Vatican. So we've been talking about this, but now I realize something else falls on September 27th and 28th this year that often is connected to very sorrowful news, if you will, and that is Yom Kippur falls on those dates. And of course, in 2017, I told people all year to circle the dates of Yom Kippur and the weekend after it, and I said we could see the biggest false flag in the U.S. since 9/11, and we likely will, because of the way Yom Kippur fell that year. And sure enough, it ended up being the Vegas shooting by the numbers. Yom Kippur is about judgment for your sins. Sin City got shot up, a riddle. Not carried out by a lone gunman. That's the propaganda. But again, Event 201, 201 days after the pandemic began. And 201's the reflection of 102. And Spanish flu was 102 years ago. And we would talk about all the 102 riddles all year with the coronavirus supposed outbreak. In recent days, it was New Zealand getting locked down after 102 days. And like we pointed out again, that news also came August 11th, the day leaving 142 days left in the year like coronavirus. But again, Wuhan, China's 102, social distancing was 102 over in New Zealand. Their leader's name, Jacinda Ardern's 102. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, her surname alone is 102. The daughter of someone from a powerful Masonic family, and the Masons are part of the Jesuit power structure. But look at this. Look at this. The pandemic was declared March 11th, 11/3, coronavirus pandemic equals 113, predictable date. The cabal always works by the master numbers, the 11th. And don't forget that in Event 201, after 6 months of the outbreak, the pandemic gets a lot worse. So from March 11th plus 6 months brings us back to September 11th. And I'm sure you remember everything we covered about September 11th and the pandemic being declared on March 11th, 2020. In case you forgot, that was exactly 222 months later. And that matters because Wuhan coronavirus equals 222. Order out of chaos equals 222. World Economic Forum equals 222, and they were the main sponsor of Event 201. And of course, Donald Trump was at the World Economic Forum on his 222nd day of his age, gloating about his trade deal with China, which was January 21st of this year, the same day coronavirus was confirmed in the U.S. from China. Understand, the politicians are puppets. These plans are set in stone long in advance. They choose their perfect puppets for their planned rituals, such as the orange Oompa Loompa with the terrible comb-over. But anyway, 201 days later, everything up to date has been just like the coronavirus pandemic. The other thing about September 28th is it leaves 94 days left in the year. Coronavirus pandemic's 94 forwards, 113 in reverse, like how it was declared on 11/3. And now the second wave, very possibly on the anniversary date of Spanish flu, because again, in Event 201, which they simulate the coronavirus outbreak, they compare it in that simulation to Spanish flu. With regards to this falling on Yom Kippur is about judgment. And we've been talking about this. The 20th card of the tarot deck is the Judgment card. And here we are in 2020 when this is happening. And Judge, Tarot, Cross, Time, they're all 20. Where do tarot cards trace back to? Italy, where the Vatican is, where the Jesuits are. So again, Yom Kippur falls on the day the Jesuits were recognized by Roman history, September 27th, the day leaving 95 days left in the year. They were recognized by Rome to counter the 95 Theses written by Martin Luther exposing the Catholic Church and its corruption, how it was baiting people into sin so that they could get those same people to come back to church and pay to be forgiven for their sins. Smart business model from some evil people who try to take that spiritual high ground, just like the entire shill community does. Parallels. But again, Yom Kippur, September 27th and 28th. Don't forget, Yom Kippur equals Jesuit order. And with regards to the 201 days later and Event 201 being the coronavirus outbreak simulation, again, we're living in the time of the first Jesuit Pope, born Jorge Mario Bergoglio, which equals 201, like the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola's 201. When you flip the alphabetic order around, Catholic Pope's 201, the Jesuit Order's 201, Pope Francis is the first Pope to live in Suite 201, named the Domus Sancti Marte 201. And don't forget the CIA was established on the 201st day of the Pope's age, September 18th, 1947. So many rituals with these numbers. And again, you got to know your Jesuit numbers. With regards to 201 being the reflection of 102 and Spanish flu being 102 years ago, Wuhan, China again 102, World War 102, Art of War 102, Social Distancing 102, Art of War translated by a Jesuit. There's no proof that a Sun Tzu ever existed. The 9/11 attack that got us into the new Crusades in the Holy Lands. They said that attack lasted 102 minutes. The American Civil War began on the 102nd day of the year. The Catholic Church bought up Washington, D.C. in 1871. It's been controlled by them ever since. Sovereign territory, things you're not taught in your school book. Not a coincidence that school equals Jesuit order. They've been building the world the way they want it. So again, the Jesuits, created in France August 15th, recognized by Rome September 27th, 1540. And while they're 479 years old, which is the 92nd prime, you got COVID-19. Remember, 19 equals chaos. The agenda is order out of chaos. 9/11, 2001 was 19 years before 2020. This September 11th will mark the 19-year anniversary. Remember, 19 years before 9/11 was 1982. That's the year the war on drugs was declared. Then 19 years later, the war on terrorism. Then 19 more years later, the war on terror and the race war. George Perry Floyd, another 201. Confederate 201. Taking down all the Confederate statues. I Can't Breathe in the time of coronavirus that attacks the lungs. Mockery, agendas, rituals. Several agendas coming to a head. Divide and conquer. Jesuit mottos. Again, there's a lot more to say about this. The good news is, tomorrow my shipment of books is supposed to be coming out. I'll be shipping a lot of books in the days ahead. And before long, if you don't want to pre-order the book through me, it'll be on all major platforms until they probably ban it again, just like my last book. But again, this knowledge is just paramount. And everything I wrote about in the book, the same patterns are playing out day by day by day. So if you want to take a pencil once you get the book and plug in some more of those things, like for example, I write all about 102 in the book, and I put out the book just before this happened, the 102 days in New Zealand. So with your pencil, once you get the book, and we write all about 142 and coronavirus in the book, again, these are things you just can add to your notes. And I'll probably be doing a second book on the second wave here before long. Because I'm sure the rituals, they'll be going on for a lot longer. Just like in the Event 201 simulation, the outbreak lasts 18 months. Spanish flu, 1918. The simulation on the 18th of October. And why? IHS equals 18. Sun equals 18. Their logo, the sun. Sun Tzu, the art of war. Know your enemy. Most people don't. We'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Till next time.